Why be easy when you can just die? I'm Chewy Mew, and welcome to my channel, but more specifically, welcome to another Chewy Mew video, where today we're going to be taking a look at a figure that I got on a lot, or got from a lot on eBay, and that figure is the ToyBiz Marvel Legends Human Torch. I think this is the Series 2 version. I don't collect them, but this lot was really cheap, so I couldn't help but just, I'm gonna buy it, and it was a bid. Like, I think I said it ended at like $20-something, so, and you get three really high premium quality figures in my opinion. So, since I got this, I did a little bit of research, and it turns out this is the Series 2, I think the non-variant version, because there is a variant where he has, he doesn't have the 4 logo on his chest. There are 2 box set versions. One of the box set version has him with the I was about to say unmasked, but the non-flame-on head. So, taking a look at, in my opinion, for me at least, the least interesting out of these, although he kind of does have maybe the coolest design. Take a look at that face there. The face looks pretty good. It's an all red head. Red head. Heady on there. A red head. He has like the yellow teeth there with kind of like red around it. The yellow eyes with no pupils there. You can kind of see like a little bit of the ears are kind of, you can see like the shape of the ears, but there's no detail to it. It looks kind of like he's wearing a mask a little bit, where you see the shape of the ear and there's like a little dot in it, but it's not, like, yeah, you can see there's like a little bit of a dent in it, rather than just, you know, being fully designed ear, you know, like Mr. Fantastic here, where you can just completely see his ear exposed. The flame head looks pretty cool as well. There's like a bunch of mixtures of colors here. There's some red, yellow, orange kind of colors in here. Well, actually, just kind of more yellow and orange. There's not so much red in here. There are like a little bit of touches of red here and there. But red, unlike the rest of the body, or the rest of the body is red. And I like how they sculpted on these little fire effects on his arms and his legs, but they didn't sculpt any more fire on it, which I think that's kind of cool, because if they did, I feel like they would have overwhelmed it. I feel like if they would have painted, if they would have sculpted this fire all over the body, it would kind of make it just look like a big blob of fire, instead of having like a human form. Like, if he had like a couple more like on the upper arms, maybe some on the legs, I feel like it could possibly overdone, like you could overdo it and make it look a little too crazy, you know? But hey, I think the way they did it looks pretty cool, and also the kind of classic design. I don't know which artist this was that did this, but I know there was one artist that he specifically he specifically drew the Human Torch with, instead of having, you know, just look like he's like burning and fire on him, he has like these lines here, which look kind of like when you cook food on the grill and it has like those little like black burn marks on it. I really like this design, how it has just lines and stuff. It doesn't look like fire. It doesn't look like they just like printed fire on him. It looks like they drew these lines, which it does kind of show that, yeah, he is on fire, and then the fire on the arms and the head, they definitely do help here as well. I like the Fantastic Four logo. It's obviously not your regular black and white logo. It's a more flamey logo. I even like how the 4 is kind of it's kind of slanted a little bit. It's kind of at an angle like this, rather than just, you know, being straight up. I think that's pretty cool, and there's like the fire circle around it. So how does this work? Is the 4 logo on his chest? Is that something that it kind of like on the costume, when it burns, does it kind of light up like that? Like, you know, Mr. Fantastic's costume, it can stretch with his body, and like the Human Torch or Invisible Woman, her costume turns invisible along with her. Is it a thing like that, where this costume it's adapted to making the fire, making it glow when he transforms? Alright, sorry, I'm back. Fuck, you keep yawning so much, dude. You see some more of that pattern going on here, the arms. I like how they're also different sizes as well. Like here on the thighs and on the chest, they're a lot bigger than they are on the little tiny parts of the bicep right here. Also, I do appreciate how the body, they didn't use like a super muscular body. They used more like a kind of more lean body. I think this actually was reused for the Spider-Man that has the Deadpool eyes with the magnets on his feet. I think they did reuse that body. I think that one actually might have bald legs, but I think they did reuse that body. But hey, I think it works pretty good for the character. I think it kind of fits. But they also did improve stuff like this ball joint is just ridiculously good. That's a really good ball joint. Yeah, just the fire on him looks really cool. Like the little burning stuff, like on the butt, the shoulders, a little bit of the back, on the legs there, a little bit on the ankle there too. The thigh right there on both of them, and then the like the crotch there. Which, by the way, ToyBiz always would do this with crotches. They would always do a little bit more modification to them, make them look different. Like on Ben here, they have like they didn't just paint it blue. They also added black lines to make it look more animated. Mr. Fantastic, the plastic is actually different color there. On Sinister Six Spider-Man, they actually put a lot of detail, and actually it's kind of raised a little bit. They always did a lot of stuff to the crotch and always kind of made it more pop out, which, I mean, you go, ToyBiz, do what you want to do. But yeah, that's something I always noticed there. And also his stomach here, it's also a lot lighter plastic. Or not lighter plastic, it's just a much lighter color compared to the rest of the body. Come on, focus. I don't think it can focus because it's trying to focus on all red here. Some more on the butt there, on the legs. I think this overall is pretty good here. The fire on the arm, I really like how it looks almost like a hot Cheeto kind of color. I think that looks really cool. And they sculpted this in such a way that you can still bend the wrist and it doesn't really block the movement too much. But then if you have it bent all the way back like this, it looks like this is all one piece, which I think that's pretty cool looking. It looks like it's one piece, but when you move it, it kind of separates. On the legs, they didn't put anything on the boot. They just put it like not on the foot part. They only put it on like the boot cut part here, which I think they could have put like maybe a little bit more flame here and there. I feel like put maybe like a couple little dabs maybe on the. But no, I feel like if they put too much, it would look like he has armor instead of looking like he's just a man whose body is basically just fire. I think the way they did it looks pretty cool. Maybe I would have liked maybe a little bit more fire like here and there maybe, but I think the way it is looks pretty good here. As far as that goes, it's a pretty basic, pretty simplistic figure. At first glance, it's pretty basic. It looks just like all he has is just, hand fires, leg fires, and then head fire. But when you look up close, all these black lines, they are pretty simple, just black lines painted on. But there is also a lot of shading. It's the most noticeable right there on the crotch there, kind of on the stomach. But there is a lot of yellow and orange shading also going over top of this light red color. Some parts of the red, like right here on the chest, that looks darker. Like part right there looks darker, also here as well, like on his chin, the nose. Some parts, the red looks a lot darker compared to other parts being a lot lighter there. And I think that's a really cool thing that it looks like it looks like a random kind of pattern. It doesn't look like, okay, so the shoulders, they're going to be very light orange. This elbow joint here is going to be very yellow. That's going to be very red. It kind of feels more like some parts are just random. Like this part of the leg here, it's really bright orange color, and then this part's kind of not. Like it looks like random, like they chose random parts to put the wash and other parts to just have different color. So that's all pretty good. Let's take a look at his articulation here. So unfortunately, the head, it doesn't look up at all, really. It doesn't move up at all, even if you rotate it. Which kind of sucks because he's the kind of guy that you'd want flying in the air. And if you have his body bent back like this, his head should be looking forward like this while he's in this position. He should be sticking forward, but that kind of sucks. That's like one of my only issues. He does rotate on the upper neck, on the bottom joint of the neck here, which, kind of rotates there. Off camera, I tried practicing and see if I could maybe move the neck, and it doesn't seem like you can really bend his neck. There is this fire right here that I feel like could go back here. No, this is weird. That's just kind of weird that he doesn't have his neck doesn't really move. I feel like it might break if you move it too much. He has this very good ball joint. That's I think maybe one of the best ball joints there is, possibly. It bends back really good, goes forward really far. That's pretty much on par with like an ab crunch, like with how good that motion is there. Compare this to Mr. Fantastic here. Bends all the way back, all the way forward. Like, very good ab crunch here. This is like a very much comparable ball joint to it. Obviously, this one moves a lot more back, but I feel like this is a that's like maybe one of the best ab crunches, or one of the best ball joints there is. Like my first Spider-Man figure ever here, his ab crunch, it bends really good too, but that's because the plastic on him is very worn out, so he has like kind of more space to move because the plastic is pretty much missing. The arms rotate all the way around. They go up about this high. Rotation here in the upper arm, double bend in the elbow, rotation here in his kind of his glove, a hinge in the wrist. You can make a fist hand and an open hand. Like I said, the really good ball joint, rotation in the waist. He can do the splits. He can actually go a little bit past the splits on his left leg here. Rotation here, it kicks all the way up. Double bend in his knee, rotation here in his boot, like the boot cut. I don't think he has an ankle pivot. I just think these are kind of loose here. Maybe it is. I don't know. 2002 Marvel Entertainment ToyBiz Worldwide 2002. The other one says made in China. The only issue I have with this figure is that his neck doesn't. He doesn't have like a ball jointed neck. If he had something like Mr. Fantastic, because if you have Human Torch and he's flying, if you're gonna have him like hunched back like he's flying like this, you want his head to be looking forward. But unfortunately, the head doesn't. He doesn't really have any vertical movement with the head. It only kind of rotates. You can't even really pivot that. So that's my only issue. But either way, that's all for this review. If you'd like to, be sure to let me know. Let me know what you think about this figure, and I will see you guys in the next review.